right now we are going to go through the first tip in the Excel area, something that will help you when you're going down the road, working for a company, and you want to give them a picture of what's going on. And this tip I'm going to give you is a graph, and I want to do a typical graph that I actually did when I was working for companies. I would put these graphs out there, and I wanted to compare what our actual sales were with last year's sales, and then maybe with budgeted sales. So 3 different areas. Well, I have spreadsheets out here, Bud 2009. That's my budget for 2009. I have actual numbers for 2008. And then I have my actual numbers for 2009. Now you'll notice on this particular example, I only have through August done, because September didn't come. Pretend you're back in 2009. Okay? Now we're going to do up a graph. And when you're doing up a graph, what you want to do is create an area where you're going to pull the numbers for those graphs. I think your book calls it a chart tickler. Okay, where you'll actually do up a chart or a graph, and you're going to take all the information and you're going to put it in a certain area so it's somewhat next to each other. And when you do that, it makes it easier to create the graph. Now, doing Excel, anytime you can do a formula, do a formula. Do not type in the numbers, because anytime you type in the numbers, number one, we're all human. You can type the numbers wrong. I know that for sure myself. When I'm retyping in numbers, I'm going along and I'm trying to type in a whole bunch of numbers. I'm trying to do it fast. I don't even look at the computer keypad. I'm just going, and once in a while, could I have typed in a number wrong? Even me. I know that's hard for you to believe, right? Okay. But even me, I can type in something wrong. So, put a formula down. Don't type. Right here, if you notice, and this is going to be somewhat hard to see, but you can see it up here. In this area here, I'm going to be grabbing actual sales numbers. So what do? I take a formula, ACT 2008. I can even do a formula using a different spreadsheet. Okay, so I'm pulling this from a different spreadsheet, a different sheet under here, but I go ACT 2008, and then I'm pulling E13. Okay? Now, if I copy this to February, do you ever see, and here's another hint that I think is good for Excel. If I put my cursor right down here at the bottom of this, I can pull this over, and I just copy the formula. I don't have to do the copy, paste type thing. I can just get to this bottom, and it pulls it over. So right now, it's actual 2008 E13. This is actual 2008 F13. I have the same thing for my actual 2009. Actual 2009 E13. If I want to copy that over for February's numbers, I got actual 2009 E13. Okay, budget, same thing. I'm going from budget. Now if I go over here, I got a separate spreadsheet out here, budget 2009. So it's going to this spreadsheet, Bud 2009, and it's grabbing coordinate E13. I copy it over to February, and it goes there. Now, this is cool. As far as doing up spreadsheets, can you do things quick in spreadsheets? Yes. I want to copy all these formulas all the way over, right? All the way to December, right? Well, I can do this copy and then paste all the way over, but that would take me a long time. So I'm going to put my cursor right at that black little square here. And I just take it and put it all the way over. And it just put all those formulas in. So I have right now all my actual sales for 2008, I have all my actual sales for 2009, and I have all of my budgeted sales for 2009. I'm putting this all in a tickler area so I can create a graph. Okay? At the top here I have the months. On the side I have 2008 actual, 2009 actual, and 2009 bud. I want to put down here, here's what information I'm grabbing. You know, so when I create my graph, I know what information do I have. And then I put my months up here. I'm going to do a couple things here just to show you some things later on. I'm going to pretend it's only through June. Okay? So I don't have July, August, September, October, November along anymore. Okay? If I'm creating a graph, I don't want to have formulas in there where it's 0, because then the graph is, if it has 0, the graph's going to point all the way down to 0. And so I get a weird looking graph where, you know, on my actual numbers for 2009, it's showing me, you know, 330,000, and then all of a sudden in September, where it's not the current month yet, it shows me 0. I don't want my graph pointing to 0. So I won't put the formulas down there. I will update it as I go. And I'll show you what I mean after I create this spreadsheet. Okay, now the graph. I want to create a graph. I want to insert a graph. The first thing I'm going to do is highlight the area that I want to be in my graph. Okay, so I highlight those, and I'm going to click Insert. And then I'm going to click Charts. And I'm going to want a line chart. And I'm going to want this type of line chart. You know, I could do a line chart like this that wouldn't show the areas, or I could do this type of chart, but we're going to get into that where we can start altering the charts. I'm going to click this, and here's my chart. Now, I created a chart here. I don't like it here, so I'm going to move it. I just pull the corner, and it's going to pull it up there. I'm going to pull that corner, I'm going to pull it down here. And it's a little too wide. I'll pull this in a little bit. Okay, now if I just want it on a screen, let's say I want this to be a little thicker. You can play with this. I can play with where I want the chart to show. I can put this up here. I can insert some rows. I'm going to want this to be a deeper chart, right? I don't care to look at these numbers. I just want to look at my picture. So I'm going to just insert some rows right here. I'll insert about 4 rows. And it's automatically going to make my chart bigger. Okay? Now here's my chart. It does show the labels over here saying the blue one is for 2008, the red one is 2009, and the budget is the green one, 2009. It's a nice picture, right? So that makes the information a little easier. It's saying, okay, what happened here? Well, 2009 looks like sales are continually below 2008 sales, and also sales are below budget sales. So we're a little bit in trouble as far as this volume goes. Our volume is lower than expected. Nice picture. I don't have a header on this chart though. If I want to change things, I can change chart type. Oh, hold it. I want to change the design. Or the layout. I'm going to the layout right now up here in the chart. And once I get into a chart, it gives you a whole bunch of different labels up here. I'm going to be changing my layout up here. And I did that, and I clicked a layout that had a title up above. So I went to Layout, and I clicked a chart title for my layout. And some of this, I don't know everything there is to know about charts. For one, they changed a lot of the way they used to do it from 2003 to 2007. The biggest thing is play around in it. Put a title in there. Take a title away. And that's what I'm going to want you to do in one of the graded assignments. Play around with the charts on, if I do this, what does it do to my chart? Oh, I want to change the layout. I want to change the design. So I put that here, and what is this title? This title is our sales. So when someone looks at this graph, they know what are these numbers? These are the sales for the particular month. Okay? If they look to the side, it'll tell them the blue is for 2008 actual, the red is for actual 2009, and the green was the budget for 2009. Now, let's say a month went by. This is June. Let's say July came by, and we put in all the actual information for July. Now, all I have to do is go to my actual number and drag that formula across, and my July automatically pops in there. Isn't that pretty? Isn't it easy to update your chart? And what usually happens is I'll print this out every month and show it to the president. And then next month comes by, all I got to do is take that formula and go one more over, and then the new month pops in. Okay, August goes by. How quick a month passes, huh? August goes by, and August was 306,000. And that automatically gets updated into your chart. Okay? One of the reasons why I didn't want the formulas for the whole chart is you'll see these zeros. If I left these zeros in here, look at how funny that makes my chart look. You know, I don't like that. Where all of a sudden it goes down to zero. Are sales really zero in September? No, it's just September's not here yet. So if I don't put those formulas in there when I create this chart, then I just copy it along as I go, and it'll automatically update my chart. So I update it and then print it. Update it, print it. Give it to the people who need it. Does that make sense on charts? Okay. And then there is different things you can do in charts. Once I click on my chart, you know, you get to the chart, you click on it, and that's where you get a whole bunch of different things up here that you can do. I can change the design. I can change the layout. I can change the format. You know, what colors do you want certain things to be? If I get into the designs, I can change the chart type. What if I say, okay, I don't want a line chart anymore. I want a chart that has these cylinders. I just click on that, and all of a sudden I got a chart with cylinders, right? If I say, nah, I don't like those cylinders. That looks funny to me. I want to have these spiky things. I think would really look silly. I can click on that, and I got these spiky things going on. You know, I never liked those. I always like line charts. To me, I could see them a lot better. But you're getting the general idea of it, right? So you can get into this, and you can go through it and kind of recreate what do you really want. You know, to me, in Excel, you do this, and if you didn't like what you did, and this is another little tip in Excel. I'm giving you a number of tips in Excel as we go, right? you can push this arrow back, and it kind of puts you back to where you were. So you can experiment with what you did, and you go, no, I don't want to do that. That's ridiculous what I did. I didn't believe I was that dumb. Well, really, I always believe how dumb I am, but don't tell anyone. But if you get into an area where you don't like it, you got these areas where you can go back. So this area right here kind of says, oh, what I did, I just messed up. I shouldn't have done that. How many people have done that, and you do it in writing or something, or you shred something, you go, oh, I didn't mean to shred that. You know, where in here, you do something and you said, oh, I deleted something, I didn't want to delete that. You get this magic arrow right here that says, drizzle, drazzle, drizzle, drone. Time for this one to come home. And you get to, yes, some people are old enough to know what I was talking about there. Anyhow, there's a cartoon way back when that would happen. Anyhow, you can go back and recreate what you just did and say, take me back to where I was. I didn't want to do what I just did. That's ugly. It's stupid. I don't want to do that. Go back to where I was. Okay. Anyhow, this is the wonderful world of graphs. In the first graded assignment, a graph will automatically be calculated or done for you. One of the things I'm going to want you to do is play with that graph. I don't care how you play with it. I just want to get you into playing with graphs. Turn it into a cylinder. Turn it into a pie chart. Or if it is a pie chart, turn it into a line chart. Whatever. Do something with it. Change the title. Change the layout or where these things are on the side. These things on the side, you can have them labeled down below. I don't care how you do it. Just make some kind of changes to get used to playing with the chart, playing with how to redesign it. And really, that's how you learn. Someone says, can you do this? Sometimes I'd go, I don't know, I'll try. And I get in there and I just start playing with it. You know, to me, I would always save the spreadsheet maybe under a different name and then pull it up and start playing with it. And worst case, I can get back to where I was to begin with, you know. And again, you have these arrows to do the same thing. Okay. And that's going to be our first tip out there.